Cameras capture another unforeseeable disaster. The Canadian Air Force puts its massive CH-125 Sea King rescue chopper through its paces. Although crew members appear calm, the chopper starts showing signs of trouble. Those recording the event are suddenly shocked by what happens next.
That sucker might go off, man.
Everybody, please remain back. Elected officials, please remain back.
The chopper traps all 5 crewmen.
Everybody stay down, okay?
Freeing himself, the crew chief barely manages to scramble out of the wreckage.
For those in our spectator area, we do remind you...
Rescuers finally drag the rest to safety. 3 of the Sea King's crew require hospitalization for their injuries. But thanks to the bravery of the rescuers, there are no fatalities. At this tiny airstrip, a cameraman is filming when veteran pilot Scott Gordon develops a problem. The wheel bay under the plane's right wing is frozen shut.
Well, you need to see what it looked like, please.
Scott's friend Jim Mosier devises a desperate plan. It calls for Scott to land the plane's right wing down on a speeding flatbed trailer, which will act as a third wheel for the landing. A shift in the wind or in the velocity of either vehicle could throw them onto the runway. Jim slams the accelerator to the floor, and Scott floats down just above stall speed. But the truck can't keep up. Still trapped in the sky, Scott okays a new plan. A desperation move that hinges on the courage of aircraft mechanic Joe Lippo. Joe gathers speed in a faster car and tries to flick open a lever under the plane's wing. Then he must literally hang from the lever to unjam the wheel. Inches above him, Scott feathers the controls to keep his 1,700-pound aircraft from crushing Joe. Altitude 7 feet. The plane hovers inches above his head, but Joe doesn't flinch. Incredibly, Joe's plan works. The grateful pilot's nerves hold steady. To judge the danger of Joe's mission, take another look. Today, Scott Gordon indulges his love of flying by piloting passenger jets for a major airline. The quest for breakneck speeds assumes another form here as giant raceboats streak across Florida's choppy waters. A news helicopter keeps pace. The aerodynamics of the hyperactive's triple hull lifts the craft well above the waves. Suddenly, the bow noses too high. Both men suffer multiple injuries, but survive. Drag boat fanatics always face grave risks, which cameras often capture. At 100 miles per hour, even the calmest water feels like concrete. In these scenes, we witness what can happen during high-speed aquatics.
All right, here he goes.
But sometimes, the danger extends beyond the water.
Well, ladies and and gentlemen, Jerry Davis in the water party. As we explained earlier.
Miraculously, all spectators and the driver survived the crash.
To the mishap area. As you saw, ladies and gentlemen,
But speed is not the only danger on the water. As this cameraman's video footage proves, a giant trawler, blinded by a pea soup fog, has just plowed into a small fishing boat, the Margaret Jane, which rapidly takes on water. Many of the 18 fishermen managed to find life jackets and dive into the icy waters. The stronger swimmers tried desperately to distance themselves from the sinking ship's whirlpool, but the giant vacuum sucks them under. Only those with flotation devices resurface. Lifeboats navigate blindly, guided only by the sound of faint cries cutting through the wall of fog. Most of the fishermen survive, but 4 of their comrades go down with the ill-fated Margaret Jane. Off the Australian coast, a news chopper can only watch as this man lives a sailor's worst nightmare. With engine failure and shredded sails, he flounders helplessly in giant swells. A 30-foot wave slams the sloop, sweeping the skipper overboard and into the deadly surf. Incredibly, he manages to claw his way back onto the boat. Meanwhile, a Coast Guard rescue cutter struggles bravely against vicious waves, but water douses its engine, and it too must fight for its life. The ocean tosses the cutter like a bathtub toy. Now the would-be rescuers themselves need rescuing. A Coast Guard chopper must maneuver close enough for them to grab the skids. The danger lies in colliding with the unpredictable boat or the men themselves. Finally, the exhausted skipper reaches safety while the chopper returns one more time for the last crewman. A local cameraman shoots this footage of an ignited oil tank in southern Texas as it spews a 3,000-degree fireball into the air. Firemen finally win their battle against the flames, and an eerie calm descends on the scene. The fire seems out. The firefighters gear down and prepare to leave. Then a red-hot piece of metal combusts with the still boiling fumes. The entire tank explodes in a raging fireball that sends firemen and onlookers running for their lives. Although no one is seriously injured, the explosion scorches several firemen with second-degree burns. As a Honolulu news team films from high above, another oil refinery reminds us of the awesome power of fire. When flames erupt, the entire harbor is threatened. With courage and skill, firefighters bring the still blazing inferno under control. But when Kenneth Yamamoto and his fellow firemen move to squelch the flames, Yamamoto has no idea what awaits him. As Yamamoto and his partner brave the searing heat, the fire suddenly leaps out of control. Reacting instinctively, his fellow fireman smothers a scorching flame.